Right, Shalom. First and foremost, just as always, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakak Wadash, which is the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the holy tongue for the one true name of the Heavenly Father being Yahweh, and that of the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus being Yahweh Shai. Those are the only names in which salvation may be obtained, whether you have been given the Spirit to receive that knowledge or not, as it is written in Acts 4 and 12. I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Grand Millstone, who have taught me this truth and spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and who do rule well today. And a sincere peace, love, blessing, and salutation unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there, doing the best to make the calling of your election sure. Lord willing, this edifying, man. And we'll get right into it. I'll go ahead and start at the 24th verse here. The book of Ecclesiasticus, the 38th chapter, and it reads, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise." Hey, so there you have it, man. Wisdom is going to come to you by opportunity of leisure, meaning when you have an opportunity to kick back and kick your feet up, then that's your moment to gain wisdom, man. You see, Esau has us so busy in this Babylonian life that all it is you're constantly going, man, constantly working, constantly at the grind, constantly busy, all the way to the point that when you have a moment of leisure, the last thing on your mind is to get yourself more busy, so to speak, man. Start doing studying, start doing, things of that nature. Instead, you want to chill, play some video games or be occupied in bread and circuses, man. Let's go ahead and pull up a couple definitions real quick. First, we'll start out with bread and circuses. Bread and circuses. A diet of entertainment or political policies on which the masses are fed to keep them happy and docile, right? So we've been given particular things that this government has set up, right? Pursuant to Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he, right? So if he's covered the faces of the true judges, which are the Israelites, and he's put them in a place of captivity, right? They're serving out the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? Which goes into the fact that, we're going to be busy. We're going to be at the grind. We're going to be building up these societies that we live in, man. Right? We're going to grope at noonday and wish for it to be night. And at night, we're going to not wait for it to be the morning, man. But we're constantly going. You see, it's stressful, man. It brings sorrow to you, man. So having to wake up every single day and go straight back to the same routine. And you get your few hours at home afterwards, man. And again, those few hours, those are those opportunities for you to gain wisdom, man. But Esau has set it up, these bread and circuses, to where typically we dabble in these. All right, and that may be, look, it shows before with football and politics is the bread and circuses. So they give these particular things like football, right? Your Friday night dinner plans, just any of these little things to keep you busy. In ancient Rome, it was the Colosseum, right? This is where this bread and circuses term came from, right? What was the famous quote? Give them bread and circuses and they will never revolt. And so the Roman government is the ones that set this up, which is why when we go into prophecy, it tells us that the Roman government was wounded but yet healed pursuant to Revelation, the 13th chapter. You see, the book of Revelation is a very political book, man. Speaking about the government, right? And that Roman beast government in particularly, and how that beast would come back into fruition and it would be ruling during the time of these last days, man. Now ask yourself, who is that? Like we quoted Job 9 and 24 earlier, if not where and who is he? Who the heck is it that is setting up these policies such as bread and circuses, man, that is keeping you busy, right? In the same type of routine in which we were mentioning earlier. Of course, it's none other than Esau Edom, the Caucasoid. America, in other words, man. And America is in full control of this beast system. this Western beast system, if you will, man. All right, which is another lesson for another time. But for now, we'll keep it on point. But I want to grab another definition now that we got that, which was leisure. Let's go ahead and pull up the word leisure as well. Leisure is a noun that means time when you are not working or doing other duties. You can be used to describe the activities you do during that time. Going on to the further definition, it says time when you are free from work or other obligations and can do what you want. And typically, that little bit of time you're going to wound up being caught up in the bread and circuses or even sleeping, man. You see, we are very sleep deprived in this society, especially the working man. And there's a reason for that, you see. Going back into it, and we'll go ahead and back up a little bit. We'll just go back to the main verse 24. All right, starting here, it says, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by the opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise." All right, so you got to use that downtime to study, man, to read, to do your lessons. All right, to stay in the spirit, man. Which, a beautiful point that was brought out by the elders was, hey, man, use the Sabbath. Use the Sabbath, especially that day of rest, to try to be occupied in the Lord, man. All right, a perfect day for you to try to dedicate unto the Lord. Which of course, again, we're not going to be able to have every Sabbath off. We're going to have to work many Sabbaths, but this is where grace comes in. And hey, when that opportunity of leisure comes in, especially on those days, all the more so reason to try to stay in the spirit and keep your time occupied in the Lord, man. Verse 25, it says, "How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow?" Right. Being an analogy for working. And, that's what we got to do, man. A lot of times, especially if you come home and you might have something broken or busted, you got to work on your car. You see, all this stuff comes into our lives, man, and unfortunately, you got to deal with them in order to continue living. But in those windows of downtime, man, hey, glory in the Lord, not in the gold. All right, glory in the Lord, not in the car you just souped up. Glory in the Lord, not your house that you built up from top to bottom. All right, speaking for myself, I've been doing a house project, and that thing's lasted quite a while, man. But hey, Lord willing, next time when I get a little chance, I'll get in there and work on it. But typically when we get those chances, we end up not being able to do that. But that's because, hey, we're casting our tokens, all right, in what's to come. Let me grab a quick precept since I said that. Go into the book of Galatians. This is Galatians chapter 6. And I'll get straight to the main point. Verse 8, it says, "For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption." Right? Which we're gonna have to sow. Sowing is when you go and plant seed. So this analogy is telling us when we're going and putting in labor for something that's fleshly, we're gonna reap a corruptible reward. That doesn't mean it's a wicked reward. It just means, hey, it's corruptible, because at the end of the day, there is no benefit in the times to come, man. The scriptures tell us that everything out here is going to be destroyed. In fact, the book of Isaiah tells us that we ain't even going to remember the things of this part of our life, man. Because what we're gonna be rejoicing because we've overcame, Lord willing. All right, Lord willing, we endure and continue. But hey, we're gonna be in a state of bliss. A lot of times, once you endure and you get to the outcome of something, man, the reward is far better, especially in this walk that we're taking. right, than we could imagine, man. All right. So hey, we got why would you work so hard on a car that's to be destroyed, man? I'm not saying that you can't, enjoy your vehicle or whatever the case may be. See, we're not robots. We have hobbies and things we like to do, but nonetheless, hey, make sure you put your downtime with the Lord, man. All right, and it comes with a balance. But hey, keep your eyes single, man. Going on, it says, but he that soweth in the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. So we've got to sow in the spirit too. We've got to sow in the spirit as well, because that's where the real reward is going to be. All right, again, we know that everything's going to be destroyed out here, man. Verse 9, it says, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Hey, so we're sowing now, but don't be weary, because guess what, man? Just like these seasons come and go, soon we will reap the reward. Just as soon the season will change. You see? Let me go ahead and grab another precept. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 35, and verse 19. Well, we'll start at verse 20, because that's where the point is. It says, mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction. You see, mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction. So in the time of affliction, man, hey, sometimes it's hard to remember. It's hard to remember what mercy is going to be like, man. Just like on the contrary, as I spoke earlier, hey, in the kingdom, once we reap the reward, hey, we ain't even going to be occupied in the memory of, what took place now. What took place before the reward. It says, as clouds of rain in the time of a drought. So, hey, in the time of a drought, you're waiting for that season to change, man. And though you're catching hell, it may not feel like it's going to change. Hey, be rest assured, man, it will be changed. You see? Drawing it back to verse 18, it says, for the Lord will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward them, till he have smitten asunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen, till he hath taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of the unrighteous. So, hey, the earth's been given into the hand of the wicked, but the Lord's going to break the scepter of the unrighteous. You see, all this that we're sowing, we're going to reap, man. Telling you that the kingdom is going to be translated from one hand to another, given into the hand of the Israelites, man. You see, this is going to take place. This kingdom that we live in is going to be destroyed. Which is why, to hell with the bread and circuses, man. Again, you got to have a little bit of a balance, but know what's going to last and what's not going to last, man. Verse 19, it says, till he have rendered to every man according to his deeds and to his works. And what are your works, man? Bread and circuses? Y2K all day? Or whatever they say when it comes to the, the video games and such, man. It says, and the works of men according to their devices, till he have judged the cause of his people and made them to rejoice in his mercy. Hey, so there we go, man. We got something coming. But you gotta be patient. You gotta stay in the spirit and keep your eyes single, man. And just no one remember. Actually, don't be like these guys in this parable, man. Pursuant to the book of Luke, I believe it's the 14th chapter. Verse 18, and they all with one consent began to make an excuse. The first came to him and said, I have bought a piece of ground. I must needs to go see it. I pray thee, have me excused. So this guy was making an excuse that he couldn't serve the Lord, man. He couldn't receive this calling, right? Because why? He was too occupied in what? In the fact that he had bought a piece of ground. I was mentioning earlier, working on your house. Verse 19, it says, and another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen. So this guy started this would be a entrepreneuring job, if you will, in the ancient world. So this guy, you know, had to get his little business going. So he also was too occupied in that. It says, and I go to prove them, I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife. Hey, this one gets a lot of brothers, man. You know, that's a tricky balance sometimes to play between the family and the household. I remember myself, in fact, my uncle, he was in the truth as I was in a young age. And when I really, you know, gave up my life and to pursue Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, I remember he told me, man, he was like, there was a reason why your uncle is alone, trying to scare me into choosing the family life over Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. But hey, what do the scriptures tell us, man? You put the Lord first, man. Pursuant to the book of Matthew, right? Keep your eyes single. The rest of the things will follow along. And this is true faith, man, when you do this. You see? And guess what? The Heavenly Father is going to, give you what your need may be. And that may be your family. That may be your woman. That may be, a particular job, a particular car, whatever the case may be. You see, you need a car to get around. The Lord's going to give you what you need, man. You just got to have faith. You just got to trust, man. We serve the power that both kills and makes alive, and that power will be in your corner so long as you believe, man. Right? So this guy married a wife, and what he say? And therefore I cannot come. You see? Go ahead and just jump down to the main point. We'll close it up. Verse 27, and whosoever doeth not bear my cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So you got to bear the cross, man. And whatever that comes with, hey, you got to bear it. Verse 28, it says, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth down first and counteth the costs, whether he have sufficient to finish it. So you got to count the cost, man. You got to realize that, you're going to have to give things up in this life. That's okay. That's part of you sowing. And whatever a man soweth, that shall he reap. That said, Kaholayim La Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Great Millstone. And again, peace, love, blessings, salutations unto those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there doing the best to make the calling of your election sure. Lord willing, this edifying. Until next time, this is Brother Gar. Shalom.